Life has been found as deep as 19 kilometers underground, 77 kilometers up in the atmosphere, in lakes under the ice of Antarctica, and in the scalding 80 degrees Celsius pools of Yellowstone. Where life can exist, it will. Rapidity of life. Life took hold nearly as soon as conditions permitted. Of Earth's 4.54 billion year history, 94% of that time it's been home to life. Quote, "If life arose relatively quickly on Earth, then it could be common in the universe." End quote. Stephen Blair Hedges. Despite many attempts by nature to kill it off, life hasn't let go since it took hold. Life is hardy. Extremophiles. As an indication of the extreme conditions life might tolerate on other planets, biologists on Earth have taken particular interest in extremophiles, creatures that can survive under extreme conditions. The bacillus bacteria has been found to survive temperatures of 420 degrees Celsius, 788 degrees Fahrenheit, and have been revived from a dormant state after 10,000 years. One report even claims to have revived it after being locked in a piece of amber for 25 million years. Perhaps the most resilient species on Earth is the tardigrade, also known as water bears. They're about 1 millimeter long and look like tiny 8-legged hippos. They can be found almost anywhere. Water bears live mainly in fresh water and moss, but have been found on the tops of mountains, at the bottom of the sea, in hot springs and rain forests, and even in the icy Antarctic. They can survive ionizing radiation, dehydration, starvation, being chilled to near absolute zero and heated to over 150 degrees Celsius. Tardigrades can tolerate exposure to the vacuum of space as well as pressures 600 times that of Earth's atmosphere. They can put themselves in suspended animation and reanimate a century later. The European Space Agency sent water bears to space to be exposed to solar radiation, cosmic rays and the vacuum. 2/3 survived. Some of the females even laid healthy eggs while in space. If creatures can be so tough as to survive in space without suits, could they hitch rides to other worlds? Panspermia. A theory called panspermia proposes that it's not just the elements of life that are spread throughout space, but the seeds of life itself, primitive organisms that can survive trips through space and colonize suitable worlds they land on. It sounds outlandish, but there are indications it's possible. Though no mission to Mars has ever returned with a sample of Martian rocks, you can see a rock from Mars at the London Natural History Museum. In fact, to date over 266 Martian rocks have been found on Earth. How did they get here? These rocks were blasted into space by impact events on the surface of Mars. Once in space they floated for unknown amounts of time before getting caught in Earth's gravity, and falling to the surface. Mars had oceans before Earth. Some scientists believe life began on Mars. If life began on Mars, it is possible that it hitched a ride to Earth on a Martian meteorite. In 1996, NASA scientists found evidence of fossilized microbes in a Martian meteorite. The meteorite was discovered in the Allen Hills of Antarctica in 1984, giving it the designation, Allen Hills 84001. Quote, "Today, Rock 84001 speaks to us across all those billions of years and millions of miles. It speaks of the possibility of life. If this discovery is confirmed, it will surely be one of the most stunning insights into our universe that science has ever uncovered. Its implications are as far-reaching and awe-inspiring as can be imagined. Even as it promises answers to some of our oldest questions, it poses still others even more fundamental." End quote. President Bill Clinton. But the evidence was speculative, it was based on nothing more than microscopic bacteria-like shapes found in the rock. The scientific community did not accept this as definitive evidence of life on Mars. But in 2019, Hungarian scientists studying another meteorite of the same region, Allen Hills 77005, had a significant finding. It turned out these bacteria-like shapes not only had similar forms and size to bacteria, but chemical analysis revealed mineralized organic compounds, chemicals we would expect to find if these shapes are indeed the fossilized remains of once living cells. If the first life did arrive here on a meteorite, we're not Earthlings but Martians. Though life may have started on Mars, complex life could not arise there. Mars's feeble gravity couldn't hold onto her ocean or thick atmosphere. As they leaked into space, Mars became progressively colder and drier. This fact demonstrates the equally important requirement of time. Earth's oceans are destined to suffer a similar fate. But not for another 1.1 billion years. In April 2019, the Bereshit lunar lander, a privately funded project, accidentally crashed on the Moon. Among its cargo was a sample of water bears, who are believed to have survived. Quote, "We believe the chances of survival for the tardigrades are extremely high." End quote. Nova Spivak. So there is life on other worlds. It came from Earth and it's now on the Moon, Panspermia in action.